human values. This is the second point of the syllabus. Okay, so just let's try to understand what the what UPSC is trying to expect from us from this syllabus, and also the detailed parts of it is like lessons from the lives and teachings of great leaders, reformers, and administrators, role of family, society, educational institution in inculcating values. So the point is this chapter, the topic of the syllabus majorly focuses on values and obviously human values. Now, what are values? We see the word value means something which you value. Okay, it's a price, it's a value, it's worth. Value is also called worth. So when we say value, basically it is something that a person or that particular group or the society as a whole values to be very important. And in this paper, when we talk about value, like for example, somebody values money. Okay, somebody values cars, for example. So the person has a very intense attachment towards it, an intense sense of value for this car, apart from its objective market cost. We are talking about how much the person values. Some people values relations, emotions. So value is something you value, but in this context, the context of this paper, values means the values that are ethical and moral in nature. Okay, so it is ethical and moral principles, rather we should say ethical and moral principles or standards or ideas, etc. So a person or a society, when values these ethical principles or standards or values, ideas, then it becomes part of the value system of the person or the society. Now, and here human means obviously the values that are held by the human beings as important. So it is called human values. Actually, the word human also has an ethical connotation to it. If you know, it is this, when we say human, we actually trying to trying to indicate upon the the characteristic of human being, evolutionary result of human being, which is away from the natural animal instinct that we generally have. We are concerned about our own survival and concerned about even required we can kill others and leave ourselves. That happens like jungle raj, you can say. So the point is, human, when we say human, we are actually talking about someone or the ability of human being, evolutionary ability of human being to go beyond all those and think more selflessly. So that's why the word human connotes, but basically human values means values that are ethical, moral values that are considered by human beings as important. Now, this chapter or this particular syllabus points actually tries to focus on the source of value. Means, like if there is a, like for example, if there is a value of patriotism, okay, being patriotic is a value thing. Somebody who feels that being patriotic is a very important thing for him or her, in that case the patriotic value is a becomes part of that individual's value system and also the value system of the society. But the point here is from where these value come, because see, though we say it's a value of society, what is society? Society is nothing but group of people only. Ultimately, group of people holding something together as a value. Okay, so again, it's all about individuals. Basically, it's about individual and how they consider value as important, which value as important. But point is, from where this value emerge, how they get formulated in the minds of individuals, how they get emerged into the collective conscience of the society. That's what we are trying to discuss here. And actually, generally, the value system comes from, the lives and the teaching of great leaders, reformers, administrators. Obviously, whenever we talk about non-violence, we invariably we take name of Mahatma Gandhi. When we talk about social justice, we take name of Ambedkar in Indian context. When somebody talks about patriotism, we immediately, the name immediately comes to our mind is Bhagat Singh. Somebody who talks about India's greatness as a spiritual, nation, and the traditional knowledge that India holds as valuable, then we certainly look towards Vivekananda. So there have been people who are there have been people who are, we can call it as influencers, or whose lives and teachings have been a major emphasis or major contributor to the making of value system of the society in general and also the individuals. Okay, then obviously if you see on day-to-day basis, if you start from, right from childhood of a person, it is the family which plays a very important role along with society and educational institutions in inculcating those values in that person. Now, inculcation of value is a lifelong process. Okay, and you need to understand here, if we are studying ethics, certainly somewhere our the most basic expectation and goal through all the process that we are going through, studying ethics and appearing for the examination and everything and talking about ethics, is actually making society more ethical. And what does it mean? How to make society more ethical? See, making society more ethical, okay, making society more ethical means, see, ethical, okay, making society more ethical okay, making society more ethical means what? Okay, do you remember the golden rule? Again, the same logic is applicable here. Golden rule. What is the golden rule? If you can remember from the last lecture, treat others the way you want to be treated. The golden rule. Or we also talked about being ethical means others more important as than self, or we talk about larger good, somebody larger. So any act or any person is considered to be ethical if he follows this principle that he generally treats others the way he wants others to be treated. Then he considers others more important than him. That means him or her. That means selflessness. Or he considers larger good as more important than his or her own welfare. So the ultimate aim to have ethical society can be created by ethical individual, and ethical individual is the one who thinks this way. But it is seen that to start off with, or the present scenario, okay, prevalent scenario is not according to it. There have been many instances where human beings are selfish, okay, self-centered, and to some, even we can say, unethical. Okay, so because this is the scenario and this is the prevalent scenario, what we are trying to do is at least the narrative, as a matter of narrative, society should uphold this, society should advocate this than advocating this. Whether they are able to follow, not follow, that's next level. But at least when it comes to, when it comes to setting a trend, we should, the society and the individuals of the society or the majority of the society should talk about these values. And here, to talk about it, we need the expertise. From where the expertise comes? The expertise comes from the people who have lived their leaders, they have lived their life according to it, or they have in a very logical way explained their theories about it, and obviously influence the society in a big way. So the ultimate aim of all the exercise that we have been doing is to have a society slightly more ethical than it was before. That is the reason, that's how the importance of reformers, administrators comes into picture. Because what happens is, see, who can influence? The one who is sitting at the power position can influence. Now, what can be a kind of powers? We have political power, okay, we have economic power, we have bureaucratic power or legal power, we have moral power, we have emotional power. So in the all the aspects, charismatic personalities, celebrities, so through them what we try to do is we try to actually inculcate the values that are considered ethical by everyone. Actually, if you survey with a very basic questions to anybody in the society, 99.9% will say that caste discrimination is unethical, okay, or gender discrimination is unethical, or killing someone is unethical, stealing someone is unethical, lying is unethical. So it is well established. But the point is, this is one stage, this is one level, okay, and more inculcation is required, so that some actions are also expected from that particular individual while the individual is living his or her own life. And for that we need lessons and teachings from the great leaders. Simple, take example of Mahatma Gandhi. When we say Mahatma Gandhi was non-violent, it becomes very difficult for somebody to support violence, because he is already an established figure, he has already lived his life accordingly and benefited society in a very in a huge way. So it is proven to the society that if we follow Mahatma Gandhi, it will be better for all, okay. And these are the influencers who are trendsetters or opinion makers in a way, we can say, because they are powerful and they have a moral backing, moral strength. Now there are, and when we actually talk about the especially about our childhood, these are the places we get our right and wrong list, do's and don't list, okay. That is our value system. So that's what we are trying to decode, so that we understand how values are made and so that we can understand how ethics is there, how it can be improved, what are the ways to improve it, okay. So we just discussed the same thing. What is value? Something that is worth. What is value? Something, value required commitment. Like take example, punctuality. Okay, when we say, or objectivity. Now, when we say punctuality, means the person values punctuality is a very important aspect of his or her behavior. She will never be late for anything, and that is actually nothing but respecting somebody else's life and time and energy. Objectivity is being fact based. Now, some professions, especially profession of journalism, profession of writer, it is generally considered that you should not manipulate the fact, because when you are presenting something, there is a trust involved. Because see, in ethics, trust, the whole society rather, trust is the most important thing. Trust makes everything happen. But when we actually deviate from the ethical principles, this trust goes down. And when trust goes down, society also becomes more dysfunctional. That's why trust is, trust is, we can say, the more the trust in the society, you can say more the ethical index of the society, you can talk in that context. Okay. And so what is value is something that worth you're committed to, and you are ready to put efforts for that. Okay. Why? Now we already talked about it. Sarvodaya is larger good, golden rule, we already talked about it. That is the reason we need values. Okay. Same or different. Now this is a slightly analytical aspect to it. Now values, what kind of values we have. Okay. Now values, there are relativistic or relative values, and there are universal values. What is relative values? It is related to time or space or place here. And universal is not related to time, it is universal. It is same for all. Okay. So relative values are related to the society, culture. Okay, and they change according to the times. But these do not change. So do you remember, are you able to recollect any of the values that you think has been universal, in the sense they have been there since time immemorial, and they have been there in across geographies also? Yes, there have been examples. So are you able to remember some of the examples for this universal thing? Like for example, honesty. Okay. No society considers honesty to be unethical or non-ethical. It is always expected, assumed, that if you are honest, you are ethical, or to be ethical, you need to be honest. So, or dignity. All the society consider dignity to be the most important value of an individual, and we need to respect that particular dignity. So, or you can say stealing is always considered, or compassion rather, we say compassion. All the societies consider compassion to be a very important value. Now what is compassion? Compassion is, see, you need to understand compassion, very important aspect. Compassion means the effort, okay, you can say an inner urge and effort to reduce suffering of others. This inner urge and efforts towards reducing the suffering of others is compassion. Because in compassion, suffering is the most important aspect. Wherever there is a suffering and you see the suffering, your urge and your efforts to actually reduce that is called compassion you have for the person. Okay. So these are the universal. So, but there have been some relative values also. So let's see the list. Now take example. If you take a case of Indian society, okay, or some specific societies, in our case Indian society, like for example, in India, respecting elder is considered to be very ethical. Okay, but that may not be this particular value is not that strong in especially developed and Western countries. For them, anybody who is above 18, 20 is like an equal human being. So they don't expect, if some elderly person is there, they don't expect some extra respect only because he or she is elder to the person who is from whom he is expecting the respect. Or vegetarianism, okay, eating only plant-based food, because killing is involved. If you are eating non-vegetarian food, killing is involved. So in some societies like in India, not everywhere but in some pockets, vegetarianism is considered a very ethical thing. Those who consider themselves vegetarian or those declare themselves as vegetarian actually hold some pride in themselves, hold something that they think that they have done something good for the society. That is ethical. So they consider they are more ethical than the others, and society also respect them to some extent. But this keeps changing, obviously. That's why it is relative. Responsibility of children in marriage. Now this, you see, in India, it is considered a very important responsibility of the parents till the child is getting married. It's even economic and otherwise all the responsibility of the children. It's an ethical obligation on the parents. But that's not the case in many of our countries, especially the Western countries. For them, if somebody, the responsibility is only till 18, 20, after that person is on his or her own. Okay, even secularism or multiculturalism is also a relative value, because there have been some societies where there have been theocratic countries where other religions are generally not considered equal. So there is no choice to the person who is from other religion, and there is no secularism as such considered to be very ethical value by the society. They in fact consider secularism to be irreligious. Being irreligious is more unethical than being secular. Then prohibition. Prohibition means liquor. We can alcohol prohibition we are talking about. So this also considered, like for example, in some societies alcohol is considered to be very unethical. Even today in India, if somebody is habitual to drinking alcohol, he or she will not declare it in public, because she considers that it's a something that can invite some condemnation from the society, because society consider that to be very unethical kind of thing. But if you go to the Western societies or many developed societies, not having or not drinking alcohol, if the person is offering it to you, this is considered rude and unethical. Okay, so it's a matter of the different cultures. Cow slaughter. Now this is specific case to India. Even many rural areas today, slaughtering of cow is considered as very unethical. But if you talk about the same value to someone who is not from India, or someone who is from Western or even Islamic countries, for them cow slaughter is a very normal thing. They don't, it do not even occur to their mind that it might be wrong in any way. And homosexuality. Okay, homosexuality, even till 5-6 years before, we actually had this as a criminal offense. So something becomes criminal offense means actually criminal offense is something more dangerous than someone being unethical. So what happens is something that society as at large considers unethical gets codified into the law. That's what the normal procedure is. If society considers something is wrong, it becomes law. Some society considers it is right, then it gets encouragement from the law. That's what democracy is. Now, society's perception might not be based on scientific temper, and then scientific temper comes in, critical reasoning comes in, and it changes the whole scenario. That's another story. But overall, in a democracy, law is nothing but codified ethical system of the society, of that particular society. Or sex without marriage, outside marriage rather we should say, this is even till today this is considered unethical. Now we are not talking about extramarital, that is cheating, that is unethical. But this is also, even if it with consensus of every involving parties, and there is no one else at either receiving end, as a somebody who is a victim of a cheating or victim of something else, even then, if that's not the case, even then this is considered unethical in India. But if you see in other countries, especially Western countries, it is not considered unethical. So these are the values or ethical systems, some of the instances, some of the examples of something that Indian society considers ethical may not be the case in other societies, or Indian society used to consider ethical some time ago, for example homosexuality, but now it's changing. Okay. And what are universal values? The universal values are the values which are time tested and even context tested, means from any context you come, you cannot deny these values. See, truth and honesty. No society says that honesty is unethical or honesty is not ethical. No society says compassion is not ethical. Okay, peace is not ethical. Non-violence. Everybody thinks that okay, non-violence is good, peace is good. Love, care, forgiveness. Okay, clarity, rationality, scientific temper, justice, equality, respect, strength, dignity, courage, and fortitude. Now, what happens is any value, how any value becomes universal value when it stands the test of critical reasoning. Critical reasoning and scientific temper. So, something, some value, any value, when it stands the test of this becomes universal value. Why? Because it has to be accepted by whole universe. Every human being on this planet, all the cultures has to accept it. And how it is possible? It is possible if it is justifiable, it is logical, it is rational, it stands the scrutiny of critical reasoning. Because if you introduce that idea to some next culture which may not have at that point of time, when cultures come together, you can convince the other person only if it is it withstands the test of critical reasoning, it withstands the test of scientific temper. So बिना उसके the no new culture can accept it. So that's why these are universal values. इस पे क्वेश्चन भी आ चुका है. यूपीएससी has been asking question at least twice. They have asked the question about values being or ethical principles being relative, ethical principles being universal or same for all, not same for all. In the different wordings, they have asked the same question. So if you have if you know the list and you know the understanding behind it, how it becomes universal, you will be able to attempt that question.